we're gonna get into it. So the reason why I chose this class is a lot of brothers ask me how can they prove, the Israelite apparel, and how do we know that this is what biblical Israelites wore? From what I'm wearing on my head to what Ibadia's wearing on my head to on his head, Salakia. Hey, come on, man. Hey, yo. To what come on, man. Y'all too much, man. You caught me. Kaz gonna clip that. To what to what pretty much the war scarf, what we call nowadays, and how to prove this biblically. Right? And certain other things in the scriptures. So let's start off with Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 11. So you know how brothers they have their armbands with a bunch of spikes and have their garments with studs on it. Well, we're gonna prove that this is biblical, right? These are not just things that we're just making up. We're just like, I just want to put a bunch of this is in the Bible. So read that. Start off with verse 10. Why not? For fun.
Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 10. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels.
Now, this is a grill, man. That's what this is. He had a grill of rubies and gems. Solomon did. And many other Israelites did. This is why, till this day, you have brothers with grills. Because this has always been part of our culture. Keep reading.
Thy neck with chains of gold.
Thy neck with chains of gold. You still see that till this day. We like to be blinged out, looking fly, even in the conditions that we grow up in and live in. Keep reading.
Verse 11. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver.
You see that? With studs of silver. Those studs is exactly what you see on brothers' garments today. On brothers' headpieces. On brothers' armbands. Get Ezekiel chapter 28. Exodus, Salakia, chapter 28. To where it says ouch. Or ooch, however you pronounce it. Verse 13.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 13. And thou shalt make ouches of gold. And two
So
chains.
the ouches, those are studs or spikes. That's what that is. And this was on the garment of who? I don't want you to answer that, my good brother. It's the garment of Aaron, the high priest. So when the high priest returns, Yawsaap, he's going to be studded out. He's going to have a fly garment on. And us, since we're priests under the order of Melchizedek, we are also ordered to wear, this is our dress code. You understand that? So this is why we wear the things that we wear. These aren't just things that we make up. You know what I'm saying? So even like a ouch is also, you see the bottom of what holds a diamond ring in place? That's a ouch. And the diamond will go on top of it, or a gem will go on top of it, or silver or gold, whatever goes on top of it, or even spikes, right? Because if you study how Israelite garments looked in ancient times, they looked exactly how we wear it. If you catch my drift, right? But a lot of people now they're taking the culture that was given to them by America and associating it with Israelite culture, when quite frankly, that's wrong, right? Because you got to go to what the Bible says, how to fringe, how to wear a headpiece, and go by that.
What is a garment?
Right. What is a garment is another thing. Even though we ain't going to teach that now, but that's true. Because I'm going to teach that soon again. We got to teach what is a garment. Right? So read that again.
And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and two chains of pure gold at the end.
That's all. So you see, those are the ouches, right? That's the studs. Khan? Apayat, pull up that get 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, 1 second. Let me get it. It's lucky. 1 Samuel chapter 2 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 10. 2 Samuel 1 and 10. Now remember, the people that translated the scrolls into what we have today as the King James, they tried their best, right? They were scholars beyond any of us right now, if you want me to be honest. One of the people on the panel that, or on the committee, I should say, that translated the King James spoke 10 languages fluently.
Fresh.
You understand? These were black men, right? Not saying every single one of them was black, because I'm gonna be honest, some of them I have no proof that they were black, but a lot of them were. Most of them were actually, right? So read that real quick. 2 Samuel 1 and 10.
2 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 10. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the crown that was upon his head.
Now, what is happening here?
Saul's dead.
Malachi.
Break it down.
So Malachi is talking about how he put Saul to death because he didn't want to be killed by the Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when it says, so I stood upon him, who's standing and who is he standing over?
Saul.
Who's standing over Saul?
One of the.
Oh man, I got the test bro.
It's not one of ours. It has to be.
Who is it, Brock?
The Amalekite. He's telling David what happened.
Remember the story of the Amalekite and gave a report back to David?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I just didn't know what tribe. I forgot what nation it was.
So read verse 10.
Verse 10. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was on his arm, and I brought them hither unto my Lord.
Now this bracelet, it's not talking about. Yeah, it's not talking about that. Even though that is in the scriptures, but it's different Hebrew words for it. Right? This is an armband. Right? That's what this is talking about. So let's go into the article I sent you to real quick. All right? And then after that, open up the PowerPoint.
Even if you was to understand that, filtering it through the English language, you would know too that arm brace is something that wraps around.
Right. And
if you broke your wrist.
Exactly. Just like exactly. And that's what this meant in the Old English. That bracelet. It's an armlet as well. That's what they called it, an armlet. Right? So it says it in the definition. Read the definition real quick.
So it says, properly a step chain, by analogy, a bracelet, an armlet.
An armlet. You see, that's an armband. What we call it in today's time. So read that real quick.
Kind of armlet.
That's from go up real quick to read the source.
From the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia Online. Armlet, the word translated bracelet in 2 Samuel 1 and 10, the King James Version, probably denotes an armlet or armband.
Armband. You see that? So this is biblical. The king wore it. We wore this at war as well. Right? Why do you think if you see the dress code even of many of the knights in Europe, the Vikings, right? Even a lot of the centurions, remember, we were everywhere on earth. And Jacob is the what? Former of all things. So they like to copy a lot of the things of our culture. You understand? Go ahead, read it.
So it says armlet or armband worn on the upper arm, but it is the same word with which a different context is rendered ankle chain.
You see that? But it's a different context, because context what? Supersedes etymology. I just wanted to read that real quick. We could drop that. So you see studs, pull up the PowerPoint. So you see studs and spikes is biblical. You see armbands is biblical. This is why we wear these things. It's exactly why we wear it.
4K.
Right? So now we're going to get into the headdresses, right? Or headpieces, we also call them today. All right? So, go ahead. Matter of fact, let me make it so it can be easy. All right, go ahead.
So diadem.
A diadem. Now, a diadem is what Ibad is wearing. Do you understand? There's a lot misinterpretations of what it actually is, but it's this is a diadem. Now read that.
From H6843, definition from the
Read it in the Hebrew, right?
Okay, that's what Taza.
Tazapah.
Yeah, Tazapah.
Tazapah Yad
Yeah, Tazapah Yara,
Khan.
which is from the BDB lexicon. It is a plate, a chaplet, a wreath, a crown.
You see that? So it's a crown, but not the biblical name for crown is actually Torah. All right, that is the modern day crown you've seen like in your movies and like in Europe. That's what the crown is biblically. But the diadem, we're gonna get into it, is exactly what Abad is wearing. Right? That's why it says a plate. We would hold on, go back. You jumping the gun, man. What you doing? Yeah, read that.
So
Lord in Christ, you jumping the gun, man.
This feminine form of Tazapayar, H6842, it says a crown as encircling the head.
See, as encircling the head. All right. So I'm gonna show you modern day how we wear it. I'm gonna show you biblically how they wore it, and even during the time of the Middle Ages. All right, to show you there's nothing new under the sun. Remember, he said the Holy Spirit shall what? Bring all things to remembrance. The Comforter. Right? Not comfy from the Holy Spirit. You understand? Yeah, comfy. Now, just like it says, we're going to remember ourselves in the land of our captivities. But that's just not a breakdown. It's also the true application of what our culture is. All right? So go ahead. You could go to the next one now. So read the KJV dictionary.
Diadem. It says anciently a headband or fillet worn by kings as a badge or royalty. It was made of silk, linen, or wool and tied around the temples and forehead.
You see that? Go ahead.
The ends being tied behind and let fall on the neck.
You see that? And let fall on the neck. That's like the one in the bottom. You see that? You see even the ones I have and the kind of look like fringes on it? That's exactly they did this biblically. And even the one on the top, on the right-hand corner, those are diadems. And according to how your style was, according to what tribe you were in, everybody had different headpieces, different diadems. People will put their name in the Paleo Hebrew in the front, their tribe, their signet of their house. This is what they did in ancient times. Yeah, keep reading.
Says it was usually white and plain, sometimes embroidered with gold or set with pearls and precious stones.
You see that? These are studs. Right? These are studs within headpieces. Yeah, read in the bottom.
The second definition, in modern usage, the mark or badge of royalty worn on the head, a crown, and figuratively, empire or supreme power, a distinguished or principal ornament, a diadem of beauty, Isaiah chapter 28.
So you see, this is a diadem. All right? Now let's go into the next one. Now this is in medieval Europe, right? Now look, that's what he's wearing on his head. This is also the origin of a bandana. You understand? And this is what they wore on their heads. These are medieval diadems. And they will tie it around their head, and they will have their house name on the front. They will have their crest on the front. This is what they did in ancient times. You understand? Okay, you can go to the next one. Now, read that.
Metri.
This is what I'm wearing.
Metri.
It's a mitri. All right, or a turban. Okay, yeah.
So Mitri, H4701, Matazah Napath, BDB lexicon. It is a turban of the high priest. Strong's definition from Tazanat, H6801, a tiara that is official turban of a king or high priest, a diadem or a mitri.
Now, because they're saying this because in certain other translations, they will translate the mitri a diadem. But it's a mistranslation. The reason why they put diadem was because they on the mitri, they also used to put a gem in front of it. Right? You see this in medieval Europe amongst the Moors. Right? Even they have a mitri or a turban and feathers in the front of it. This is all Israelite culture. So that's what a mitri properly is. It's a turban. Con? All right, go to the next slide. You got something? Hold on.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
About that. Can you go back the slide?
Yeah, go back a slide. I got you. Yep.
Because I know there was
That one?
no before that.
Go to the one before that.
All right. Is that considered a scarf or not?
No, we're gonna get there. That's not a scarf. We're gonna get to what the scarf is. That's a diadem. Right? Then you see how it has almost like the fringe coming down at the end. This is biblical. Right? So go ahead. Keep going on. We definitely gonna get to the scarf. Now you see, look,
Fresh.
you see mitris. That's what these mitris are. Right? You see how they come rolled up and then you'll wrap it around your head. All right? May the Most High raise these brothers up again. All right? Keep going. If priest Ari, I don't know. Now you see the one on the right. You see that those are mitris. You see how his nose is knocked off, right? You know why they did that? Because who is symbolized, right? For some reason, the nose is always off. I don't know why, but that's a painting from the 1400s, I believe it is. Right now, these are Israelites in Europe with mitris on. You see that? Go to the next one.
Shit, big as hell.
Oh. Now a bonnet. A lot of people.
That's what we wear.
I wear that.
What's a bonnet?
It's like, you know,
That's not a bonnet, brother. No, it's not. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into what it is, man. This guy is not in the spirit right now. We're gonna get into what a bonnet biblically is.
the plastic ones?
Right? Yeah, this guy's not in the spirit. You gotta clip that. Now let's go read that.
There's bonnets, H4021.
Go ahead.
What's that? I.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Magai. That's the God.
so yeah. So Magabai. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the BDB lexicon.
Magabai.
So it's a turban, headgear, Strong's definition from the same as Gabai,
Mm-hmm.
H1389, a cap.
It's a cap. Right? This is a beret. And we're gonna get into the Hebrew to understand why this is a beret. Right? What does ma mean as a prefix? As a prefix.
Totally Israelites.
Huh?
Totally
Huh?
Israelites.
No, it's not the.
Did they pay attention to that class, man?
I think it's something.
I want the desktop. It's taking notes.
Who's writing in the comments? Those in the academy should be able to answer.
They lucky I'm not looking in the comments right now.
Somebody
Now, go to the next slide. I'm gonna show you what it is. Now you see, Magabai, right? The prefix means from,
Oh, like in the shop.
like from something. Exactly, from something. All right. Now look at where the root comes from. Okay.
The prefix mem means from
Mm-hmm.
hill, H1389, Gabai.
Gabai. So it's from hill, Magabai, right? Or it's actually Magabai. All right, because they're married together, right? Just like Shammai, right? It won't be Shammai, it's Shammai. Con? So go ahead, read that.
Strong's definition, feminine from the same as Gabai, H1387, a hillock,
Uh-huh.
hill or little hill.
Now this is why it's a beret, because what does a beret look like? A hill. So that's why the Hebrew is literally depicting what it looks like from hill. Khan?
God.
Now go ahead. Go to the next one. Now look, these are berets, right? And in Exodus 28, what the priest wore. This is what priests wore in the temples. Right here, right? So where you see bonnet in Exodus 28, it's talking about a beret. Khan? Yeah, keep going.
Isn't that the chef hat?
We're about to get there. You're right. Go to the next one, Doc. What's going on? Did you skip something, brother? But it's all right. I think you skipped something, bro.
Is that the Scully?
Let me see.
Jesus.
There we go.
So this is also the origin of the chef hat. Now read. You see how the chef hat looks? Because the chef hat was primarily used where? Where is known in Europe for cooking? France. And this is where the chef hat was used. You understand? This was the beret. And the reason why it was like that, right? Because the afro went inside of it. That's why it was puffy on the top. So read that in Leviticus 2 and 7.
So Leviticus chapter 2 and verse 7. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, baking in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil.
It shall be made with fine flour with oil. So Levites were known for cooking, because they cooked and offered to the Lord. Khan? Now go to the one that you just you had up.
Man, God, didn't you try to use that to prove your black?
I would love to go back.
I don't know what she's talking about.
So check it out. The one on the left is from the black obelisk of Salmanassar. That's King Jehu. Look what he's wearing. You see that? And then the one on the right is from around Mayan territory. They label it an Olmec figure. Right? That it was lower than Issachar. You know what I'm saying? And look what he's wearing. He's wearing the same exact thing that Jehu was wearing. These are ancient forms of berets or chef hats, which is something that was priestly. You understand? You can go to the next one.
I would love to see that teacher.
What teacher you talking about? He's talking about chef school. Yeah, read that. This is the guy. So this is the one that's tricky if you don't do enough study. All right. Now, in I believe it's first. Let me get the scripture first. I'm gonna get the scripture first. It's 1 Kings. 1 Kings 20 and 32. Read that real quick.
First Kings chapter 20 and verse 32.
Go ahead.
So they girded sackcloth on their loins and put ropes on their heads.
And put what?
And put ropes on their heads.
Now it's not a literal rope. This is figurative speech. And I'm gonna give you the understanding on what this is. Right now, read the definition for rope, which is I believe that's cabal.
So ropes, H2256, cabal, the Strong's definition, a rope, especially a measuring line, by implication, a district or inheritance as measured, or a noose as of cords, figuratively a company as if tied together, also a throw, especially of a parturition, also ruin. It is band, coast, company, cord, country.
Now you see, a cabal also goes into the root of it, also goes into ruining or destruction, right? And this was primarily worn during times of war. And this is what this is actually talking about is a scarf, a war scarf, right? Because in the front of it, it will look like a rope. And then the war scarf will come, and then it will have two flaps on the side of it.
Oh, no.
You understand? And I'm gonna show you how this is biblical. All right, so go to the next one. Now you see how in the front of the scarf, what does it look like? a rope. This is modern day, right? But I'm gonna show you how it was in ancient times, right? So that's why they were called. That's why in the scriptures they called it cabal. Not only because cabal symbolizes ruin or taking over something, but it also is literally a rope. It looked like a rope in front of your head. Khan? All right, go to the next one. Now look at the Moors. On the left-hand side, from literally, you see the book on the top, the golden age of the Moor. He would wear it and he would have two long flaps. And in the desert, he would take one of the flaps and tie it around his head to cover his face. Right? These are war scarves. You understand? Go to the next one. Now this is modern day. Right? This is what we wear modern day. These are war scarves. See the studs on them, the shield of David, which is a lily, right? Or a pomegranate, or so on and so forth. Right? But these all are war scarves. You understand? Now you see how in the bottom it's a piece. In ancient times, it used to look like a rope. Khan? Go to the next one. Just hit me up, my good brother. I'll plug you in. Now look, I forget exactly what inscription this is, but this is Israelites going into Assyria, right? Now look at what he's wearing. You see the headpiece with the flap on the side of it. That's a war scarf. You see it? If Abayak, if you could zoom into him a little more, do me that solid. See if you can zoom into it. If you can't, it's all good. If you can't zoom into it, don't worry. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Don't even worry about it. So you see this right here. That's what will be known today as a war scarf. Khan, I believe that's the end. Now go into the Zondervan Bible Dictionary for me. Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, I believe that's the last. Let me see. All right, so you see where it says dress, right? Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. Now we're gonna be getting, as I teach more about the Israelite dress code, we're gonna get into this a little more. All right, scroll down. Keep going. Keep going. All right, don't be scared. So you see, as has the inner tunic, which is the undergarment, and the undergarment is also known as we're just gonna skim by it real quick. Short shirt-like undergarment. So a t-shirt's an undergarment. It's not the garment. Right. Keep going down. Then you see the tunic or coat. That's talking about the robe-like. All right, the pullovers or the vesture. That's what a vesture is. A pullover. Huh? Keep going down. Keep going. Right, you see, they even got the leather girdle, right? These are what we call nowadays like a war belt. These are leather girdles, right? That used to be tied around our waist. All right, go down. Keep going. We're almost there. Right there where it says headdress. We're going to start reading from right there. Then it's going to jump over. So read that. Headdress.
So headdress was worn chiefly as a protection against the sun and as a finish to a completed costume.
You see, a finish to I hate how they say costume. Yeah. Like if we
Yeah.
The white man, the devil, bro. It's not a costume. This is what we wore as people. Okay, so go ahead.
It varied from time to time according to rank.
You see, according to rank, it varied on what you wore as a headdress. Go ahead.
Rank, sex, and nationality.
Rank, sex, of course, male or female, or nationality, meaning tribe. So different tribes wore different headdresses. You understand? Keep reading.
It varied from time to time according to rank, sex, and nationality.
Mm-hmm.
In the main, however, there were 3 known types that were worn by the male members of the Hebrew and surrounding nations.
Go ahead.
The ordinary brimless cotton or woolen cap, corresponding somewhat to our skull cap, and sometimes worn by men of poorer circumstances.
Now these is kind of like what it said, a kufi, right? And you see the Behustan rock, you'll see that. Let me tell you something. If you look this up, listen, that rock holds gems in it, but we ain't gonna get there. That's a whole nother lesson. But these are also what a bonnet is as well, because they were also known as caps in ancient times. Go ahead, read.
Captives are seen wearing these on the Behustan rock.
Listen, look that up. Keep reading.
The turbans were made of a thick linen material formed by winding a scarf or sash about the head in artistic style and neatly concealing the ends.
You see that? That's exactly how I'm wearing it now. It was neat. Do you understand? Go ahead.
The high priest wore a turban of fine linen.
They wore a turban of fine linen. Go ahead.
The headscarf,
The headscarf. Go ahead.
known among the Arabs as the kafiyeh, is usually made up of a square yard of white or colored cotton,
Watch
wool,
this. Go ahead.
or silk cloth folded into a triangle.
Folded into a triangle. That's why it'll go on the head and it'll flat down. Because it was folded into a triangle. Go ahead.
And draped about the head.
Mm-hmm.
The apex,
Now jump to the top of the other side.
because the apex triangle falls directly down the back, forming a V point, while the tapering ends are thrown back over the
You see
shoulders.
that? Over the shoulders. Once again, that's them 2 flaps hanging down and the point at the back of it. Go ahead.
Or in cold weather, they are wrapped about the neck.
You see that? That's when they wrap it around. So the 2 flaps will come down and they'll take this and wrap it around their face. Go ahead.
The graceful headscarf is held in position by an adha, which is made of several soft woolen or silk twists bound by ornamental threads and worn in coils about the head.
Now, the coils are the rope-like fashion, right? Like a coil of wires and how it intertwines with each other. That's why it was described as a rope. Go ahead.
An ornamental tassel falls to the side or down the back.
You see that? The tassels or fringes. They would also put fringes on it. That's why you see Israelites today, including myself, with the war scarf on and it has tassels on it. Go ahead.
When Ben-Hadad's shattered Syrian army realized the serious loss they had suffered, some of his men suggested to him that they go to the king of Israel wearing sackcloth around their waist and ropes around their
You
heads,
see that? That's the scarf. Go ahead.
hoping that he would spare their lives.
Hoping that he would spare their lives. So all of this is Israelite custom, Israelite culture. Khan?
Come on.
So that was it, man. Told you class wasn't going to be long. If anybody got any questions, points they want to make, we're going to be that.
I'm surprised they don't got, I'm not even joking, like hats.
Like fitted?
Yeah.
Nah.
Really? I'm just saying because we would wear like a fedoras. I don't know.
You don't know what you wear a fedora sometimes, bro. Where it's like all the way around, not just the brim on the top. It's all the way around. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like the shit from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's a fedora, brother.
Straw hat.
Yeah, like a straw hat. Those are fedoras.
Just one piece.
You know what I'm saying? So the Israelites would wear that. You know what I'm saying? That is something they did wear as well. There it goes right there. Look, boom.
Fresh.
Israelites would wear this.
Oh, that's the Gore hat.
Right. And the reason why you shout out. And the reason why, of course, today we leave the crown uncovered is just for a representation of Christ being our covering. That's just what it represents. Right?
For the mitres.
For all of our headpieces. That's why if we get a beret, there'll be a hole at the top. If we get a war scarf, there'll be a hole at the top. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a tradition for the representation of Christ being our covering.
You know what's crazy? Even in our ignorance, we're wearing these type of things, and we don't even realize.
I don't know what you're saying.
Even in our ignorance, even
I said take it off full screen. There's a couple of questions.
Okay, come. Yeah, I'm listening, Maya.
even in our ignorance, we're still wearing these type of things without even realizing.
Yeah, that's a fact, 'cause it's our culture.
Like the turbans, that's popularized right now. Of course, the crown, the diadems, the bandanas. Like we keep the same cultures. That shows you who we are as people.
That's a fact. He said Michael Jackson wore fedoras. All praises. So how do we properly wrap a mitri, brother? I can't explain that on. I'm actually supposed to create a video wrapping a mitri and send it out. Gawar's gonna rebuke me. He told me to do that. Yeah, he said that was horrible, so I gotta redo it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what Gawar said. It was too much going on. How about a shin? I don't know what is that.
Shingur.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Like what they wear in soccer? Is he talking?
Like, is he talking about?
I don't know, brother. I don't know. Any other questions? I don't know what that is. Explain.
This is weird.
What? Who said that?
Shut down the chat, please.
Yo, and chill in the class. It's too much.
That's something.
I got you. Yeah, read that.
So this is 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 30. Let's start from verse 29. This is David when he went to fight against Ammon. It says, and David gathered all the people together and went to Rabbah and fought against it and took it. And he took their king's crown from off his head, and the weight whereof was a talent of gold with precious stones. And it was set on David's head, and he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance. Now, if you look up crown in the Hebrew here, it is H5850. It is attire, which is a crown or a wreath. I wanted to ask in the slideshow.
What are those?
Yeah, in the slideshow, the first picture that was up, the first slide, is that the one that he had on?
Nah, attire is a literal crown, like what you see in like the medieval movies,
That's
like with the spike. Give me that line real quick. This is an attire, a literal crown. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is.
I read that and I wanted to ask because you didn't put it in there, but I wanted to see if like it was similar to what it was that you put in the slideshow.
Come.
And then the elders that throw the crowns at Yahweh's feet, is that it too?
Yes. Yes.
I'll ask. Of course, you know we dealt with the. Well, I get tired of hearing it. For the scoffers, I always say, "Why do we get get these expensive garments and all?" They call it. Say that we have a Passover fashion show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you explain why we do the things that we do concerning Passover, and we do. That's how we dress for Yawsaap and stuff like that.
I mean, what's the exact question? Like, why do we dress the way we dress?
Like, why do we go all out for the, with our garments and stuff like that for Passover?
I mean, it's the same reason why I go all out for a garment just to teach camp. It's part of my culture. People will go all out to go to a party and sin.
Exactly.
Why not go all out for a holy day? It's not to sit here and have vain glory, but it's part of our culture. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, that's what the best way to explain that.
It's part of our culture. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, people go all out for wickedness. Why not go all out for righteousness? What you want me to wear? Sackcloth? You want me to wear sackcloth? Like, be out there with a knapsack? That's ridiculous.
Bring that out. Bring that out.
Damn right. So, you got something else?
Just off of what he just said.
Come, go ahead, do your thing. And I'm gonna be doing more classes, like I said, with fringes. I'm gonna do another fringe class. Show how to properly fringe, like Mayaka Allah said, what exactly is a garment. You know what I'm saying? So. There. Say it again? The headbands we used to cop? Yeah, the diadems. I got you.
So this is First Chronicles chapter 15 and verse 26. And it came to pass when God helped the Levites that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Cananiah, the master of the song with the singers. David also had upon him an ephod of linen. So even for the occasion, this wasn't necessarily a holy day taking place according to Leviticus 23, but you see men are dressed for the occasion that all of this is happening. It's not necessarily that we can't not wear anything pertaining to what it is we have in our own culture being Hebrew Israelites, but that does not mean that for an occasion or for any particular events that's taking place, like what's being written here, we wouldn't dress up accordingly to the attire.
Speaking to the account of labor, what these men are doing. So at any time where we had our hands to till the ground or do anything that was instructive of us, we were rich in apparel.
Right.
So if we don't have the finances that we used to have back then. So when we partake in our nationality, culture, and heritage, and what the Lord implemented us to follow, we're going to show up and show out for the sake of what we once had.
Right.
Point blank theory.
I'll give it a couple more minutes if there's any other questions.
Then you got to give a concept to the Gadites. The Gadites was at war and it was fly.
Get that in Maccabees, man. The warlike apparel, man.
In the middle of it, and warlike apparel was like priestly garments.
Right.
It was killing Edomites. Look in the history, look how fly the Gadites were in the Native American Indians. All Northern Kingdom was fly when there was that war. Before we transition, that's all we had was movies and all that catastrophic garments. Just read history. Last nigga shed the blood. See how Christ came out of Bible.
Right. That's a fact.
He coming, yo.
See how he came out of Bible.
That's a fact.
This is First Maccabees chapter 14 and verse 9. The ancient men sat all in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men put on glorious and warlike apparel.
Put on what?
Put on glorious and warlike apparel.
Glorious and warlike apparel. Are we at war? Absolutely. All of the nations have declared war against the children of Israel. So we are to put on warlike apparel. The brother asked, what do we explain to people that scarf because we don't put fringes on everything we wear? Get Isaiah, where Isaiah was naked. Get that. And then I'm going to send Abayak something. It happened to me too. Cut them up.
This is Isaiah chapter 20 and verse 3. And the Lord said, like as my servant Isaiah have walked naked and barefoot,
Have what?
have walked naked and barefoot.
So was he butt naked? No, he didn't have his priestly garment on. That's what this is talking about. So if Isaiah didn't have a priestly garment on and was not fringed up, was he in sin? See, a lot of this world has made us religious, where we think putting something at the end of a t-shirt is going to protect us from judgment. That's honestly, quite frankly, what it is. It's because people are religious. That's all it is. Just like they go to church, just like a Puerto Rican is a Catholic and he has beads on all the time. He's like, Papi, is or the red, or the sisters have the red. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The red little bracelet. Yeah, with the fist at the end. That's damn witchcraft. But they like, this is protecting me. It's the same thing in the Israelite community, man. People have become religious. You understand? Give me a second. I'm gonna send. You can get something if you want to. Get something if you want. I'm pulling something up to send to Apayat. Ganan, you going off? Yeah, you can read. Read it and break it down. I'm looking for a picture for Apayat.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. So I read this because, first and foremost, we don't all have the funds necessarily. I don't know how much it costs us, but I do know, particularly for garments, it's not cheap. But we don't have, or I don't know anybody that has the finances to fringe every single thing that they have. And
I mean, brothers do it. It ain't even about the finance. You know what I'm saying? It's just about, it's not biblical. It's not biblical, man. It's not biblical to do certain things, but they're doing it in a modern day fashion. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send Abayak, I'm about to send you something right now.
Like there's a criteria to how we do everything. You can't do it to your convenience of trying to put it on everything.
Right.
Specific fabrics that we supposed to, like, there's a certain way you go about rounding the corners of each fringe that you put on specific material. Like there's literally laws in everything that we do. Can't cut corners by throwing it on a t-shirt and thinking that that's lawful, and then scolding everybody else who's not doing the same thing that you do. What you're doing is wrong.
Now, even if you read the book of Acts, when the apostles was teaching the Gentiles, Acts chapter 15, what are the three things they told them to do immediately? Anybody know the three things? In Acts chapter 15, what were the three things that were told to the Gentiles, Israelites? What were the three laws that was given to them?
It's not eat strange meats.
Not to eat. That's what?
Not to eat things sacrificed unto idols, blood, and what else?
To get circumcised. Right?
Nah, read it.
Acts chapter 15 and verse 20. But that we write unto them that they abstain from the pollution of idols.
So idol worship, go ahead.
And from fornication.
And from fornication, sexual perversion. Go ahead.
And from things strangled and from blood.
And from things strangled and with blood. Strangled meaning dying of itself, right? Because we couldn't eat that as the people. We gave that to the heathens, which actually proved that the Israelites. But and things of blood, right? Which goes into idol worship as well. Okay, so this right here, this is what you should be telling people that are just coming into the truth.
Right.
Not where is your beard, where are your fringes?
Yo.
Because read the next verse.
Verse 21. For Moses of old time hath in every city.
Having what?
Every city.
Because in Moses of old time, in every city is what? Read.
So, for Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Now, in every Sabbath day, they're going to continue to learn the laws. So why are you going to be at camp rebuking somebody that they don't have fringes on? When this guy doesn't even know anything about the Bible. He's in the, yeah, Jesus Cristo. Oh, yeah, Jesus, man. You know, I grew up in the church, but I don't really. You got to put fringes on, brother. That's crazy. The apostles did not show you that blueprint. That's not biblical. You take people out of fornication and sexual deviancy because and idol worship. That was the initial things that the apostles said, teach the Gentiles right away. Come. Pull up that picture, Abaya.
I'll start using that.
Put it on the whole screen. Now, these right here are Israelites getting carried away into captivity. Where are their fringes? I can show you the black obelisk, they got fringes on. I can show you plenty of things, even when they playing instruments for the kingdom of Assyria, they got fringes on. But this is in a time of mourning. And what do they wear in the Bible in the time of mourning? They wore sackcloth, which is an undergarment. So your undergarments do not have fringes on them. That's not biblical. And this is just one prime example of archaeology where they don't have fringes on. It's very simple. Any other questions? I forgot what piece of archaeology is this again. I think that's the Lachish reliefs. That's what that is. That's the Lachish reliefs, where this was Judah getting ransacked by Assyria.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Right? That's what that represents. And you can see the difference. Look, they got woolly hair. You know what I'm saying? Those look like brothers, man. Then you can see the difference of them in the northern kingdom. There's always been a difference. Right? Always been a difference. That's the Lachish relief. That's Lachish relief. And we don't knock brothers, but we just do what we do here. It's that simple. You know? Any other questions? If not, we're going to close. That's the Funk Master Flex Bomb. Abayaka, go. All right, man. I guess that's it. You can call it.
This is Psalm chapter 48. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. The power is known in their palaces for a refuge. For lo, the kings were assembled They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took hold upon them there, and pain as of a woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God. God will establish it forever. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Walk about Zion and go round about her. Tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our God even unto death. In the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the Wadah of Yad, Amen.
Amen.